Okay, here we go. Now I need to share my screen. There we go. A window. Here we go. Here's the window. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking to myself, guys. I moved so much furniture today. I am still, my brain is fuzzy. Why does it do this every time? It did this last time too. Okay. Can you guys see my thing now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Last week, guys. So you know the drill. Here we go. So we have cough or kuf right here. And we have sin right here. Now, sin should have a dot, and I did forget the dot. So when you normally saw it, we saw it on the first side, and now we see it on the dot would be up here on the back side. So the dot in sin and shin, there's never a dot in the middle that would mark this. It's only on the front or the end. Okay. And this is kaf right here. And we have sadi. So that's our first and our last 4 strict letters. Okay, we're also going to review a couple final letters today. So we have kaf, and then here's final kaf right here. Okay, and then we have zadi and final sadi. Okay, and then you've learned fe already, but I don't know if you knew it. There's a final fe too. So there we go.
Is it shen or sen that has the dot?
Okay.
In the last part of the.
Yes. Okay. So the way you remember it, and I will show you, I'll remind you in a minute, but the way you remember it is, if you think of saying to a kid, you know, if we put that sh, sh, the first one on the left side, when you're reading English, is the sh, and that the s, the sin, the dot when it makes an s, and then when you go to the second or the third one on the end, the h in sh, that makes the sh. Does that make sense? And I wrote this on the slide, so I'll show you again here. But yeah, it's hard for me to show you because I can't point to the screen very well. So I don't know if you can see my cursor. It's probably too small. This side is the S. So when it's on this side, it's S. And this side is when it's H, S-H. So S, sh. And we'll show you again. Okay. Okay. So really quick, we have our letters from last week. We had ayin, tet, vet, yod, and our ach, our final ach. And then week 4, we had zayin, gimel, samik, pei, and fei. And then our oo vowel. And then week 3, these should be getting easier now. Bet, kaf with the dot, het, vav, final vav, and then we have our begin syllable marker, and our oo. So you guys notice we have the other half of this one. So this is kaf. Remember, it's got the dot in the middle. So you think of cough, it's got to cough it out. It's got the hard cough. You need the hard C or K sound to be able to get that dot out, cough. Whereas now today we're doing cough, which was the more throaty, gargly cough. Week 2 was resh. We had resh here. We have lamed, dalet, shin, and final mem. And then, of course, we had our o, and o. And week 1, this should be the best, easiest one of all. These letters you should know the best. We have mem, tav, hey, aleph, and nun. And then, of course, we have our vowels right here down on the right side of the page. And we have on the left side of the page. On the right side of the page, we have our vowels. Okay, so week 6. Does anyone remember what this first letter is yet? I only said it twice.
Cough.
Cough.
Yeah. And then this is what? If it had the dot right here?
Sin.
Sin, correct. And this one is?
Chuff.
Cough. Yep. CH. Yep. Perfect. Cough. And this is?
Sadi.
Sadi. Perfect. Okay. And then
I drew them and I wrote the labels.
good job. Okay. And this one, I'm not going to hold you this one too tight. This is just cough and final cough again. And you notice it's almost like we're unwinding a letter. Every time we have a final, it's like we took the letter and whatever it's doing, like Sadi is sitting on his knees and we unfolded him and he stood up and now he's a final. So the spinal fade, we did the same thing. We unfolded the bottom and it goes straight. So the final letters are long and tall, if that's one way to help you look at it while you're looking at the counterparts. So, okay. So here's our kuf or our cough. Okay. And here, let me go to this one. Okay. I didn't have a really good way to remember cough. So if there's something that it looks like to you, because to me, it doesn't look like anything that's K-ish. And that was really a struggle for me. This is just one that I had to continue to look over and over and over again. So, okay, here we go. I put the dot here. So, like I said, if you think of, here's sin, and you see the dot right here. So if you think of, in English, we say sh, right? The S is this one. If the dot goes here on the second, that's sh. So the first is S and the last one is sh. So I don't know if that helps or not. I don't. So like I said, dot is on the left for sin, and for sh, it's on the right. Okay. Here's our cough, our CH cough, our hala cough, right? Like the guttural cough like that. Yeah.
Is it a CH sound or a K sound?
This one has more of a CH sound, a cough. It's yeah, it's hard, but it's still more of a, they don't have.
So it's a throat sound rather
Yes,
than a.
that's what I'm saying. It's more of like a guttural than a more like if you say choff, like or you know how some people say chala. We have the chala bread. It's not. It's more chala. It's that throat sound.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead. Okay. So if you think of your hand makes a C shape. Okay. One of the things that I've told the kids before that cough is, in America, we have a C that goes like this and cough so hard, it turned itself around. I don't know if that is helpful or not. But sometimes I say to the kids, hold up your hand. What letter is it? What letter does it look like to you? And then they get cough. So I don't know if that helps or not. Some of these don't have really great ways to remember them. Cough is unfolded. Now, I have to tell you, one of the challenges with cough is sometimes it looks like a dalet. So the cough will always be longer than the dalet. So, and it even has a little mini dent. Dalet usually has a bigger dent right here. So if it looks like a dalet, but it's too long, it's a final cough. Does that help a little?
No, is it only in the picture that the bottom is chopped off?
Yeah, it's so long today that I couldn't get it. I couldn't, the way when I centered it on my page, it was so long it hung down.
No, because I'm drawing them into the paper. Otherwise, I'm not going to know what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
So like I said, so just cough, it cough, final cough. The top kind of sort of looks like the top of the cough, but it really doesn't because it's kind of curved. So this is kind of like a super long dalet, and it's just final cough. But all the final letters are long and tall. So that's just something to remember. Here's our Sadi. Here's our again. So our Sadi. Now, there's two ways that people transliterate this. Either they say TS or TZ. And the only difference again is pronunciation. Sephardi tends to say Sadi with the Z, and old Ashkenazian type European New York is Sadi with the S. So there is no difference. It is the same thing. Oops, sorry. So the way to remember Sadi is it's somebody saying yay and they're on their knees, and or remember the noon is like the nun was on her knees. This is the nun praying, I don't know, whatever. And they're on their knees and they're kneeling. So yay, whatever. However you remember it. It's just a Y that's kneeling down. And that's Sadi.
Yeah, it's a Y they didn't make it to Z.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, actually, that's better. A Y with the Z here. And then final Sadi is exactly the same way. It's just standing tall. So it's just like it stood tall, and it looks like the Y. It looks like it just unfolded. Do not get this confused with ayin. Sometimes people see the Y part and they think of ayin. So final Zadi is straight, but remember the ayin had a curve up here. And it's got a different shape. So it's standing tall, and that's how you know it's a Sadi. There's no waviness in the sidearm here. So that's Sadi. Okay, here's our Fey again. So our Fey, this is the weirdest one ever. The face just here. Some people say it's a face again. I don't ever see that. They say it's a featureless face. I don't know. It doesn't look like it to me. But here's the Fey. So the Fey is actually just a standing tall, unfolded Fey. And you know it's a Fey because there's no what here?
Dot.
Right, there's no dot. There's no dagesh. Absolutely. So that's how you know it's a final Fey. Okay, so everybody, can you just go through week 1 letters for me?
Oh, God.
Let's start at the first one. Ready? On the right?
Okay, it's a mem.
Yeah. And the next one?
Tav.
Cobb.
Yeah.
Aleph.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And noon.
No.
Noon.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, week 2.
I read them from the paper.
That's fine. Week 2. Ready?
Dalet.
Resh.
So this one is Resh. So Dalit's right here. And this is a good one to remind you. See, Resh looks like Apple iPod earphones. There's no dent. It's straight. But Dalit looks like someone put a dent in your Apple iPod earphones. So if it's got the dent, it's a D. If it doesn't have the dent, it's an R, a Resh, an R. So those are kind of like sister lookalike letters. Okay. So what's the one in the middle?
Lamed.
Yeah, that's great.
Dalet.
Okay. Now, this one this week should have had the dagesh right over the first arm. So if it's on this arm, or the first arm was we're reading, not the English way. So what letter would it be today?
Then Shin.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And the last letter is
So what does the dot do?
okay, so the last one is final mem, but yes, the dot tells you whether it's a sin S, just a straight S, or whether it's a SH sound.
Okay, so plain, it's got, and that's interesting. It's plain, it has more sound than you would think it'd be the other way around. Okay. All right. So with, I'm writing this in here, with dot.
Well, if there's a dot on the left, it's an S. And if there's a dot on the far right of the crown, it's a sh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
sa or sha.
What's the left side?
The left side of the page, the English left side is S, just straight S.
S or F?
Sorry, S as in Sam.
Okay, so a left dot is S,
Yep,
and the right dot,
is H.
Really get a lot of use out of the.
You do. And it's, like I said, one of the most popular letters.
And when it's just its own, it's a plain S sound.
It's when you should never see it by its own. Actually, you should only ever see a dot.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you see it on its own, they forgot the dot.
Okay.
And a lot of people do. A lot of people don't use dots, and
Yeah.
that's frustrating.
Yeah, no, but it's the same as writing the English alphabet,
Yep.
and especially numbers. The 7 looks like a 1, but the 7 can also whatever. But especially if you're writing fast. Okay.
Right. So however you guys can remember it for yourself, that's why I use so many different examples, because it only matters how you can remember it. Okay, so tell me what this first letter is in week 3.
See, I don't have those that list. I got to get a piece of paper.
So anybody else have week 3?
Bet.
Bet?
Bet.
Okay. And what's the next one?
Cuff.
Cough.
Mm-hmm. And the next one?
Het.
Het.
Het. Yep, het.
So that was March 8th. Okay, and I missed that.
And how about this one?
Love.
Vav.
Yep.
Hmm.
And does anyone remember what this one was?
Half. Final half. Half.
Final noon. Final noon.
Okay. This one is a final. Let me show you.
Final half? No. Sorry.
Nope, because it's not that one. Final half actually kind of looks like this het but longer. That's a final. Let's see. Trying to see if I can show you.
Oh,
Let me go
Vav.
back.
Madison, did we have a week gap in between? Because I've got lesson 2 on March 1, and I missed the March 15th because of the adult ed. So we've got was it one that we skipped a week?
No,
So
No.
Lesson 3 was March 8th.
yeah. I wonder if I'm missing a letter though. Didn't I have? There's noon. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So here's final noon.
No, that's
No.
noon.
Right. See how it's little? I was trying to show you the little one. And again, what we did here is it's the same little hook. It's just long and tall. Does that make sense? So it's just the same. If it was bended right here, it would look like a noon. Okay. Okay. So does anyone remember what this one is?
Zion.
Mm-hmm. And then how about this one?
Remote.
Yeah, exactly. And how about this one?
Final.
No,
Final mem.
nope, but you're close. It's the look-alike letter. So this is what?
What are you pointing to? Oh, okay.
The one at the end is final mem. So do you see, Pierre, how final mem is flat on the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
And then Samic is a look-alike letter, and it's circle all the way around.
Okay.
So now is it easier to see when you see it this way?
Yes.
Circle versus flat at the bottom. And then Pierre, now I know you know these two now, right? The last two?
Pay and pay.
Yeah. Which one's first?
The pay is
Yeah.
has the dash in the middle.
Absolutely. You got it. You got it. Okay. Lois, are you caught up?
I think she went out of the room.
No, I got to get a tissue.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, that's the lesson I missed. That's 4.
okay. So we have Zion, right? Guys, it was Zion and it was Gimel because Gimel looks like someone who's going. There's legs there. And Samic is the circle. And pay has the penny or the coin to pay. And Fay doesn't have any. There's Some people say it's a featureless face. There's nothing in it. The eyeball's gone, the quarter's gone, whatever you want to say.
And that's lesson 3.
This is lesson 4.
Then something's wrong here in my, because 4, I have the iron and the tet.
Well, maybe I messed up. I don't know. I've been known to do that.
Okay.
Maybe I messed up.
We have 5
Oh,
lessons.
week 5 is iron. Okay. So let's go to week 5. So week 5, the first one is which one, Lois? You just said it.
And I have that as lesson 4. So there were 2 lessons I missed then. Okay. That's the iron.
Yep. And then what about this one?
That's tet.
That
Yeah. And how about this one?
Vet.
Yep. That everyone's saying V, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Yes.
this one is,
The
Yod.
apostrophe.
Yod.
Yod.
yeah, that's a yod. Yep. That's a yod.
Y, which is Y.
Chet.
Y.
And
I
the
know.
other,
One.
the final chet.
And this
No check.
final one is different. This one is ah. It's kind of a mixed end vowel. It's ah. So when you see that at the end of the word, it becomes ACH. Ah.
I'll go down here. Oh, okay.
Ah. Yeah, just ah. Ah. So just think ah. Bach, whatever. Okay. So week 6 again. So one more time. This is kuf or kof. And this is sin if I had put the dot in the right spot. And this,
Sin
yeah, that's sin because the dot would be right there.
and
And then we have kaf and sadi.
and the
Okay.
kaf is pronounced like challah bread. Challah bread.
Yeah, kaf. Yep. Okay. Now, these are the least used letters. So remember, I told you we were learning them from hard to easiest. Okay. One of the ways that you will find that sadi is easy only because eventually we'll get to some prayers or some lines and there's like seat, it'll be in there. So once you see it a couple times in those words, it'll make sense. So, and shin, you'll see shin all the time, but sin isn't as popular because there's also samik. So there's, 2 ways to say S's. So, and the same thing with, we know we have kuf, kaf, we have different ways to say things. So these are the least popular letters. So if you had to learn something last or have problems, these are okay to have the problems with because you'll see them less often. Okay, so here we go. Here's our final letters again. So can someone tell me what this set is again one more time?
Cough.
Cough and
Final cough.
final cough. You see? So the thing is, if you look at it, like I said, remember, it really does look like a long dalet. It's supposed to be the top of this unwrapped, but it really does look like a dalet. There's even a dent there. And I have to tell you guys, I checked my keyboard 5 times to make sure I was hitting the right letter, and that's it. So certain styles are easier to see than others. So, and
So-
here, what was the second set again?
Let me go back to the first. The symbol on the far right is the ha, chaf, chaff.
Cough, final cough. Yeah.
Cough. Okay, cough. And then what are you calling its partner here?
Final. So cough, final.
And no, but the thing on the other side of the line.
Yes,
doesn't-
this is cough and then final cough.
Is it cough or is it huff?
Cough, think of it as CHAF.
Because you've been saying cough. You've been saying ka with the hard K. That's what I hear.
Okay, so let me go back one. So this is cough. This is the harder cough. The
Like a K.
Yes. This one is the
Cough.
cough, but it's still a it's a CH, but not like a CH. I'm trying to make sure that you guys understand it's not like a CH like American CH. There's no such thing as American CH. It's a ka, but it's not as hard as the kuf, but it's still got the guttural in it. So it's cough.
Okay.
So kind of does sound somewhat the same, but this has got the in it more so than kuf. Does that, can you, here, let me try it one more time. Ready?
What is the letter though that's
This-
accompanying it on the other side of that line? Does it have a name?
Okay, when you're going from right to left, this is final cough, and then this one is the cough. That's just my divider, yeah.
Oh,
Final cough, and then cough. So remember, the final letters you only see at the end of the words, right? Like if we have our talit and we're talking about the seat on our talit, you'll find the seat, the sadi, the final sadi at the end.
can you go back to the page that had the letter, the 4 letters not attached to their final friend?
These guys right here?
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, this one.
okay, so that's more
See,
like
this is
a 7.
cough.
It's more like a 7. Well, so is that. Okay, and then when it becomes a final, what does it look like?
It always stands tall. So the sadi,
Oh, it's stretched out. Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay,
they're
so I got-
always like you unwrap or you unfold them. So the cough is a C, but if you were able to put your finger down, you would just make it bigger. And if you put your arms up like you're doing the YMCA dance and stood up, you go from sadi to final sadi. And the same thing with Faye. Faye is like a kind of a backwards P that's curled on itself, but if you uncurl the tail and make it long and tall, it becomes a final.
Can you go back to its predecessor? Because I put a straight line, and what I'm learning now is
Okay, hold on. Let me go way back here. So don't anybody get dizzy. Let's see.
no, and it's lined up with the 4. The lineup
so-
is 4.
You want this one? There's
Oh,
cough.
The
There's
line up, the line up with the 4,
Okay.
with the
hold on.
sin and the other 2, so I can see it in its previous state.
Right. So hold on.
Yes. Yep. No, you won't. You were there, and then you went away. Okay. No, go back 1. Okay. So it's got much more of a curve than I put on my piece of paper.
Yes.
That's why I was having a problem. Okay. So it's a very different looking, and it just goes barely down and then curves. And it's final straight. Okay. Because I can't, they looked alike to me. Now they don't.
Now, one of the things, if you guys have been able to use the app or not, one of the things I would like to definitely do the next class is there's a small little booklet I would like to recommend people to get that helps you with your printing. And when you start to learn to print, just basically, you don't have to do it great. It does really help and print the letters on your brain. So, and we didn't have time this session to do a lot with printing, learning how to print and write the letters. But I definitely would like to do a little bit more of that because it does help you learn how to do it. So let's go back down here. Cough, cough, cough. Make you sick to your stomach. Okay. So that was our finals. Okay. So
And there is no name for its added partner. It's just there.
it's
as a
only
thing.
final. So whatever the first word is, if it's cough or sadi or pay or noon, it's just noon and final noon, or cough and final cough, or sadi and final sadi, or fay and final fay.
But it's a different symbol altogether instead of whatever. Yeah. Which makes it more confusing.
Well, some of them are more and that's okay. But that's where this helps later on. If we go back over and review stuff, then you get it. Believe me, it's not intuitive. Some people say it is, but it really isn't intuitive. So, okay. So here we go. Here's our hataf patak and our patak short and our kamats long. So, okay. So if I were to do any of these letters, okay, and I were to add these vowels, what sound would it make?
I have no idea.
Someone said
Ah,
correct. So whether it's a long ah, like ah, or a short ah, or ha, it doesn't matter. You take the letter, if it's dalet right here, it becomes D for dalet and da. So it's just Oz. There's nothing fancy about Oz. And everyone's pretty clear on the Oz, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's okay, Melissa. We'll get you caught up. Okay. So now's our our E's, and I was just telling little kids the other day, they're small little dots, and they could have a yod, but they're small little dots, or they're two little dots. And the way that I kind of got them to understand it is, we know these are E's, right? E, short, fast E's. Think of it as a mouse underneath, I guess, and this is E, and this is E, because that's a really big one, or this is E really fast because you got two and you're running. So however you want to remember it, it's just they're they're E's, and they're short, long, or very short. Now, just remember the one in pink right here. That one, sometimes, this one says Shava vocal, and there's a non-vocal one. Does anyone remember what the non-vocal one is? Like what I call it, what I refer to it as?
Oh, I'm sorry. Shiva?
The Shava, yep. This is the Shava vocal, but there's another type of Shava. And it does something. So I always call it a something.
Syllable breaker?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Right.
Yes, the Shava, it's a syllable breaker. So exactly. Okay, so these are the E's. So if I had a gimel and I said, please tell me what a gimel is with a dot underneath it, what would you tell me it is? Gi. Absolutely. Okay. Now, these are good. I don't know if they printed well for you guys, but this is a good vowel practice to just point to a vowel and he, t, you know what I mean? Just practice your vowels. That's another good way to practice vowels. Okay. Now, we have the last of our vowels here, our true vowels. We have our ones on the left side of the page, and those make what sound? Do you guys remember what these make?
Oh,
O's, right? They're overhead. It's like something hitting you in the head. You say O, okay? And then what is this one with the three dots that go down?
Ooh.
kibbutz.
Yeah, ooh. And then what's this one right here with the three dots that are kind of in a pattern?
F.
F, yeah, eggs in a basket, F. Okay, or bed, whatever. And the same thing. So if I said lamed and I pointed to this dot over here on the top of the lamed, what would that sound be?
Low.
Perfect. Okay. So that's just that. Okay, ready for reading practice? Did I lose anybody? Okay. Okay, so
Still here.
okay, good.
Yep, me too.
Okay, so let's try line one together. So this is kuf, right? It's like a K as in king. They teach it this way, okay? So line one, starting closest to the one, the first sound is what?
Ka.
Yep. Let's keep going. Ready?
Ka. K.
Yep.
K.
K.
Yep.
Ki.
Key.
Ki.
Ku.
Ku. Perfect.
Ku.
Yeah.
Ko.
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 Yep.
Ku.
Ku. Perfect. Okay. Let's try line two. Ready?
Ka.
Ka.
Okay.
Ka.
Ka. Two. Yep.
Ke.
K.
Perfect.
K.
K.
Ki.
Ki.
Ki. Yep.
Ki.
Yes, exactly.
Ku.
Ku. Perfect.
Ku.
Yep.
K. No sound. K. K.
Yep. That's a cup. Yep. And then
Ko.
Ko.
ko. Yep.
Ku.
Okay. So let's try line 3. Okay. So we're going to try the first word in line 3. So what are the first, how do we look at that letter? So how do we look at that word? How do we approach that word?
Consonant, vowel.
Right.
Right.
So we're going, so our first part is what then, Mickey?
Ma.
Ma.
Comb. Macomb.
Okay. Yeah. So we have our first ma, and then we jump over. So ma, comb, exactly like you did it. So, okay. So somebody want to, Linda, do you want to try to approach the second word in there? See how you, tell me how you attack that word.
So what was the first word?
Vicky, do you want to say it again?
Macomb.
Perfect. See how after 3 times it gets just really easy?
Is that a real word in Hebrew?
Yes, it is. And I don't remember what it means. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having trouble seeing the dots.
Yeah. Okay. What is Linda, do you want to try the second word on line 3?
Kadosh.
Okay. And how did you approach that?
Oh, well, consonant with the vowel underneath. So, and the long so ka, and then consonant, vowel, consonant, dosh.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Okay. So Pierre, do you want to try the next one?
Yes. Let me see how I fare. I had to take a call, so I got kicked off. So tell me where we at now, so I can.
The third line, the third word.
Are you on? You see lesson 4? Are you on the right slide?
The third line, the third word is that calf with the 2 dot underneath, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a silent vowel. So we go ka.
Yep, you make the sound first, but it's more, and this time make it more of a K sound because there's no, we got it.
Okay. K.
Yep.
And is that a final the letter at the end with the dot in the middle, is that a final
No, that's a vav.
vav?
Mhm.
Okay.
Was that the apostrophe? But I have trouble.
So you have your key, and then you're gonna head to this next one.
Resh, right?
That's a dalit. I
Yeah,
know it's hard to see.
Okay. Dalit, key. I skipped the dalit and pronounced the last letter, but I don't know what it is because it's so small.
Okay, so that's a vav.
Off, right?
So you have key and you have dalit, and that's a vav with oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it.
Dagesh.
No, just the dot. Yeah, it's the vav, but I forgot the name of the vowel. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
It's an oo sound though. Yes. So
Kuv.
Oh, is that Sharik?
Kuf.
So it could be a sharik. That's probably right. For my brain, I just short circuit. But yes, it's kidu. So kidu.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It looks like 2 dots, one on top of the other. So shouldn't that really be could do, not key do?
Yeah.
I'm getting confused when you say key do, and I know that it can have sounds like, but it's confusing me.
Could do. You're right. Could do. So thank you I need to really tighten up my laziness. I apologize.
Because I think Pierre had it right the first time, and you told him, no, it's more like a K, but he said K.
Oh, then I just misheard. I apologize, Pierre. I misheard. So that's the one reason why I do have a challenge. I apologize. So it's could do. You're right. It's K. And I did it again. It's a K and it's a do. And then Pierre, just read the next 2. Can you read the next 2 letter word there?
Oh my, the challenge continues.
Yes,
Okay.
it does.
So,
She,
so
she,
this is Shen, and with the period on top of the right corner is a she, like Shen, and this last letter is it's all about knowing the letter for me. Is that a hey?
That's it. So you have a hey, right? And hey at the end of a word, does anyone remember if
It doesn't.
it makes a sound at the end?
So it's shoot,
Silent.
shoot.
So we have sha. So if you put the first part that you read and the second part you just read, what word do you get?
The first part that I read, which is Shen, and the second part is hey, which is a silent
Yeah. So, but I apologize.
sha.
So it's sha, right? So if you put the first part, starting with the kuf, and you
Okay,
put that together, what do you get?
Kidusha.
Yeah. Which is
Okay.
why, do you understand, Linda? I kind of messed you up and I said ki instead of ka.
Kidusha. Okay.
Because when we're in synagogue and we say kedusha, sometimes we put that e in there. So that's why I said I have to stop being I have to be more careful and not be lazy. You guys are really helping me focus when you point this stuff out, because I know what the word is and I say it all the time, but you notice I actually do it more of a shavah vogel instead of just a syllable breaker.
Mm.
And it is a syllable breaker. Okay. So yeah, so you just read kedusha.
Okay.
So
I just
okay.
learned to read one word. Okay,
You
awesome.
did, and you will find that in your siddur all the time. Okay, so let me go past King. Do you want to try one, Lois, or you want me to go to the next one?
right here is the shin.
Right here, there's a shin right here.
Yeah, is that the one you're on now?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh God. I think there's a final mem and something.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that's final. So you have your
Is there
shin.
apostrophe in there?
There's a yod. So
Okay.
what we have a vowel here, because what do we have? We have a dot underneath and a yod. So that's what kind of a vowel?
Shalom.
Oh, I don't know. My vowels are very weak.
So that's an E sound. So if
Okay.
you start with your
She,
letter.
sheem, yeah.
Yeah, no, you did it.
Sheem,
Okay.
sheem, yam, show.
No, it's just, remember, this is a hirik. So it's a hirik long because we have the dot and the yod. So it's just sheem. So if you read the part right before that Pierre just read,
Yes.
you actually come up with another word. So if you have ki, you see where I'm starting at the kuf, the
Yes.
word before?
It's a case. Yeah, it's a case noun.
Yep. So we have ki or k, and we have, what would we have next? You know?
There were so many that look the same. Does
Okay.
that give the curve in there? No, it has a straight. So it's just a curve. The curve one was.
So yeah. So just to make it, because I know it's hard to see, it's a kuf, it's a dalet, and it's an olam vav. So a vav with an O on the top.
I'm drawing a blank.
That's okay. So anybody want to give it a shot?
Kedusha, Kedushayim.
Okay. So we have, this one was kidushim, kidusha. This one is kidoshim.
Oh,
No, are these words that we say that have a translation value?
Yes.
Or they-
And so we say this, and I have to tell you right now, I can't tell you what the exactly means anymore.
Okay.
I'm just not there tonight.
Well, but when I hear the sounds that sound like Kiddush,
Well, Kedusha is, when we're doing our, one of our,
Onegs.
oh my gosh. And Kadosh is when we stand up, it's like to rise or something. So like, I just, so Kedusha is a prayer. Kadoshim is, Kadosh, 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 we say. Kadoshim is when we all rise, I think. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have all because it's, now we're going to be getting into roots and whatever. And I need to review those before I go into those again.
But if these were actual Hebrew words, some of which we're familiar with just because of going to services, we would be able to respond without really knowing what we're reading.
Well, right, because that's why we have Kadosh right here. Like we did Kadosh and we did Kiddusha and Kiddoshim. You will all hear these in the Torah. So they're all in there. It's just, they're all versions of Kiddush. So, or Kadosh, they're all versions with roots. And so later on, when we learn the words, we'll learn the root. And that's what I'm going to class for. I'm trying to find a better way to teach you guys the roots and then the word on the outside, because I know a lot of this stuff, but I don't know how to teach it as well. And so that's why I'm going to take Chaplain Davis's class, because he's going to help me teach roots. And I think he's got a great book. So, okay,
I just wanted to say, I don't know very many Hebrew words, but doesn't Kadosh mean holy?
Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is holy, holy, holy. But then like Kiddushim is something like rising to the, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You're putting, yes, so you're correct. But it's like, then when you put together, it's we're all rising to the holy or something. You know what I'm getting at? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. So
I don't know what it means, but I understand what you're trying to say.
And right now, like, I just can't tell you just because I can't. It's not that I can't tell you totally. It's I'm going to mess it up and I just don't want to mess it up. I'd rather not teach you something that I'm not prepared for than to teach you wrong and then I have to you totally fix it. I mess you up later,
You know what would make things easier?
What?
When you're teaching kids the alphabet and they have pictures of vegetables and fruit, the kids know the names of those objects. And so teaching them the sounds of the letters becomes very easy because they've been talking it.
Right.
So we're in a reverse situation because it's a mysterious language or symbols.
Yeah.
And we don't have pictures.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to go to Hebrew grade 1 or 2.
Well, there are books, so I can help you guys. There are, if you feel like you need a child's book. I used to do that too when I first started out. I grabbed my kids' books to refresh myself a long, long time ago when they were, my oldest kids are 30 now. So, I used to use their Hebrew books when I was, when they were done with them. So that is a possibility. So let me just go through a couple more things here because it's getting a little bit late and I don't want to keep you guys too late. But let's do line 1 super quick and use the shin or the sin as in sin. So S is here. I is in the middle, right? If you think of it that way, there's S and the sh is on the outside, however you want to think of it. But let's do line 1 together really quick. Ready? So sa. Yep.
Sa.
Sa.
Se.
Yeah.
I
Say.
don't know the vowels anymore.
Say.
Say,
Yep.
See. So.
so,
Yeah.
See.
see,
Yeah.
sue.
Sue.
Okay. And let's just try one on line 2. So how someone give me a shot on line 2, the first word.
Well, it's got the shin again.
Yep.
Shin again. Yeah. It's two of them, but I can't tell if, see, I've forgotten the vowels because that's a couple of weeks ago. So this is shishi.
So it's C.
Okay.
So we got
So that's
C
in
for the
two.
first two, and then it's an S sound and an olam. Not an olam vowel. Geez, is that a sharik? I can't remember. Why can't you remember that? The punch it in.
To Sharik.
So sorry to get
Sharik.
Yeah, sharik. Thank you. So it's C, and then we have another S sound. And what sound does that make?
Sissy.
Ooh,
Sissy.
ooh, right? So we have C, su, right?
Yep.
And then let's just try the next one. Ready?
Sa,
That's also the S again, but I don't know the vowel.
Yep.
Sam,
Sa.
Samu.
sa,
Sam,
mu.
Sam,
And then there's a final M and then something else.
Samu, right? Sa, mu. Okay. And so let's line 3. Okay. Let's go 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth one in the middle that has a lamed. Let's try that one.
J,
Feel.
So we approach that by looking at our sin, right? And we know we have the ah, and then we go to the L because we need another consonant, right? And that's the begin vowel breaker. So the first part is what?
How about Solomon?
So that's Sal, yep. And then we have Sal, but not Mon, but Sal
Salma.
Ma.
Ma. Yeah, Sal Ma. Okay.
Oh, the H,
Okay.
H is
So I'm sorry. Could you just stop right there for so that vowel breaker means that I join the S and the L together, and that
Okay.
becomes one syllable. Is that right?
Okay. So
Salma.
yes and no. Okay. Yes and no. The only thing that's not correct about what you said is yes, you usually go to you hit that vowel breaker because you want to go to you hit, right, as you know, consonant, vowel, consonant. The only thing that could be different is there a couple letters that I'm going to teach you, combinations that are like meaning in or with or come. And so say that word was ha. So ha is like the. So a hey and an ah underneath. So you could have ha, then sal, ma. Ha, sal, ma. Do you know what I mean? So there could be extra preposition that might be a letter and a vowel, and that is the only exception to that. But normally, yes, whenever you have the vowel breaker, you definitely go to that, and then remember that your next syllable, even though this is the begin vowel breaker, it means the beginning of the next syllable starts at the next set of letters. Does that make sense?
Yes. So it wouldn't be Salama. It would be Salma.
Yes, exactly. That's how you break
Okay.
that. Yep. Okay, so let's go to chutzpah. Okay, so ha as in chutzpah. Okay, so do you want to try the vowels or do you want to just try a word? Because it's 8:06, so it's your time now. I'm here till you guys tell me uncle, or you want to keep going a little longer, or you want to call it quits. It depends how fast you want to go.
I would like to do a few of these
Okay.
because
So-
of the ha.
Okay, so let's just try to do this together quick, line run, and then we'll go to the chas next, because there's a couple tricky ones that I want you to see. So, okay, so line 1, what do we have?
Sa,
Cha, yep.
sa,
Ka.
Yep. Cha,
he,
yep.
he,
Yep.
Ki.
Yep.
Ho.
Yep.
Ho.
ho,
Yep. Who?
Who?
Yep, exactly. and
Cool.
who. Okay. So I'll tell you what. Let's start. We're going to go in reverse order today because to me it's a little bit easier. This last word is a little bit easier on the end. Okay. So someone try that. Let the last three letters on the end.
Hakol.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that thing I was telling you about. So we're starting with the ha, which means the, right? And then we have kol. So ha kol. So, okay, now this is a little bit challenging. Okay. So what do we have here? Does someone want to try to tell me how we're going to look at this one?
Keith.
Okay, so we have our he, and then we have a ha. So I can't even say this together. Someone say that again. You just said it.
Keith.
Yeah. Okay. And that ends the syllable, right?
Mhm.
So we just ended the syllable. And now where do we go next?
Hich. Lot.
It's lot, L-O-T. So, because it's an olam vav, so that's how you say it. And that is extremely difficult to say together. So, okay, so let's go, okay, try the next, someone want to try the next set of three that's previous to that?
Dechem.
Lechem. Yep. Okay. And then let's go one set before, because we have the D that way, and then it's just all by itself. It'd be like if there was a vet there all by itself, and then we go on to the next syllable, and that's chem. So, okay, what's the one before it?
Vo.
Okay, so put those together, those two together.
Vodchem.
Yeah, and that is a real word, and I totally cannot remember what that means. Okay, so go one before it. Can anyone figure out how to approach that? So we have, what's the first vowel letter combination?
Cool.
Who.
Cool.
Cool.
Cool, right? Cool. And then we
Cool.
add the top to it, right?
Kulchem.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Fem. Because we have to put them together. We get to the vowel breaker and we start the new syllable at the next letter. So we have consonant, vowel, consonant, and consonant, vowel, consonant. That is a perfect form, and you don't see a lot of those, even though they say they're supposed to be every word is perfect. But you and I know that it's not, and this is perfect. So you have consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay, should we try one more on this one?
Kamoka.
So, yeah,
Kamocha.
Kamocha. So we say that in synagogue, don't we? Kamocha. Right? Anybody remember that? Kamocha be'olim Adonai? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Sadi. Okay. Let's see. So well, here, let's try this line 2. So let's try line 2. Anyone want to try it?
Say.
So it is so we have an ayin with an A, and what do we have for the Sadi?
Oh,
Eight.
that's a final. Sates.
Yes, exactly. It's a final Sadi. So it's a eights, right? Eights,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. And how about the next one?
Aleph.
Yeah. Exactly, Peter. Then we go up to that's a resh.
Mm.
I don't know if you can see it.
Hashem.
So we have and then we have a resh and an egg in the basket. So resh,
Yeah.
right? And then put in our final sadi. So we have rates, right?
Alright.
Yeah, rates. So there's erets and there's rates.
So we don't sound off the H.
I'm not seeing an H. So we have the aleph. The aleph makes no sound. We have the and then we have the ray, the resh,
Yeah.
R,
Right.
and then the final sadi is
S, right?
a TZ. Think of TZ. You can think. Some people say TS, but I guess it's still TZ.
Think TZ. Okay.
Rates.
Reds.
Yeah.
Reds. Okay.
Okay. Anybody want to try the next one?
Rotates.
Rotates, yeah. And then how about the last one or the next one?
Rots.
Rots, yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to try another one or not? Or we're set?
Alutes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have no clue what that word is. Okay, this one could be blurry, but I did want you to see line. Well, here, the first one. Okay, let's just look where it says here. Okay, so we have the first word right here on line 4. And what's the first one?
Aleph.
Ow.
Yeah, an aleph with what letter?
A. Ale.
So if ale, okay. So sometimes, that's a name for God. But now what's the next name for God? So we have what vowel? Remember the 3 + 2 = 5 vowels?
Mm-hmm.
You saw 2.
Elohim.
Yeah, this is L. And then we hit, now we have to go. So that's the part that comes in front. And then we have, right? Lo. Him. Did you see how we broke that up? L, F, Lo, Him.
Elohim.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Line 5. The very last word in line 5 by the period. Let's look at that really quick. Ready? So we have our ha in front, right? And then we have our ayin. And does ayin make any sound?
No.
No. So we have ha, we have a skip, and then we have an olam vav, which makes what sound?
Oh.
Oh, right. So ha, o, and then what's the last 3 together? Because that's our consonant, vowel, consonant at the end.
Final members.
Lam.
Right. So lam, right? So ha, o, lam. We have ha, o, lam. So everyone's heard that one before, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So let me see. Okay. I don't know. Let's see if I want to try to something. Okay. 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 So let me go back. We'll just do this last one here. Okay. So right up here here, line 1. Okay, let's try line 1. So what do you think line 1 is? Does anybody have either can sound it out or have a way to approach it?
Baruch.
Bet. Bet, right?
Yeah. So it's bet
Yep.
and a kamatz and a resh and an olam vav and a final what? What did we learn
Kaf.
today? Yeah.
Kaf.
So that's your final cough in action. Okay. It looks like a super big dalet, doesn't it?
Tov.
Yeah.
Bet,
So
tov.
say it one more time.
Bet, tov? No?
Okay. So bar, oo.
Baku.
So bar, ook.
Baku.
Right?
Like this doesn't get heavy one.
Ata.
Ata, right? So we have our we have
Baruch
our,
atah
Baruch ata. And then what's the last part?
Adonai.
Yeah. So what did you just read again? Do it all together again.
Baruch
Baruch. Ata.
atah Adonai.
Adonai. So
Elohim melech haolam.
yeah, so we just did Elo, what? Elo, hey, new,
New.
right? So the second part of line 2 is, so we have Baruch atah Adonai,
I'm
El,
sorry.
Yeah.
How did you get Adonai? What am I
Oh,
missing?
okay.
I
Okay.
see 2 yods.
Yeah,
but
okay. So, yes. So in ancient times, okay, one of the ways that they said the name for God or Adonai was Yah, okay? Or
Okay.
Yah, like Yahweh. People get it from Yahweh, Yah. So because we don't say this except for when we're teaching students or whatever, one of the ways we make it so that you don't say the wrong thing is by just abbreviating. So we take the old Yah that they used to use, or Yah for Yahweh, and we put 2 yods together, which is yod aleph. So Yah, or Yah if it's a Shabbat vocal, and it's just the way that we abbreviate Adonai. Because the other thing is, if I don't know if you guys know this, but if I were to write Adonai out on this paper, that's the sacred name of God. And if you printed that paper out, you couldn't throw it in the trash. You would actually have to take it to a geniza and you would have to give it a special burial. So whenever we do like papers for learning and papers for study, you'll see a lot of the Yah or the Yah, depending on who's teaching. And it just means Adonai. So that actually, Mickey, was an awesome question. And I apologize because I thought I covered that. And I didn't. Why would I have covered it? We're not there yet, right? So that's where I got that from.
Great.
Okay, that was an awesome question. I'm so sorry. So, but we know Baruch atah Adonai. So, and so here, what did you say the next one was? This bottom one
It's
down here?
Eloheinu.
It's Eloheinu. So you know it. So now we can sound it out, right? Elo, hey, new, right? Eloheinu. So we got it. Can anyone tell me how you're approaching because this is another one we just learned, how you're approaching the next word?
Melham.
Matt.
Yeah.
What, is this the one you're on? Eloheinu.
Melech.
Melech.
Yes, Melech. Exactly. Yep, Losh, you're on the right one. So we have le, right? Melech.
And this is Hainu. Melachenu. However,
No,
some of these things I mispronounce when I'm singing them or saying them because I'm just doing it from listening to people. So
Yeah.
that's how I got
Elohim. We had Elohim first,
Holam.
and we had Melech, and this one is what, Lois?
Holam was the way I've
Ha.
been saying it for 1,000 years. But there's the
Right.
H.
Ha. And then we have the ayin, so we can't say it. And then there's our Olam Vav, which is our O. And then what do we have at the end?
The Lamed.
Yeah.
And the final in.
Lum.
Exactly. So we have Baruch, Atah, Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, Ha'olam.
So, and that's what I was saying before. You know, if you sort of know what the word is because you've said it for 20 or 30 years,
Right.
it actually makes identifying the letters 100% easier.
That is going to be your cheat. That's if you have ever sat in any kind of synagogue service or any Torah service, that's going to be your cheat. Now, when they go super fast,
What's my cheat?
What's the word you're using? That's my what?
oh, cheat.
I see.
H-E-A-T.
Oh, okay.
Cheat. Yeah, that's your cheat because if you have sat in synagogue, you're right. Like, for instance, this word up here, does anyone know what this first two letters, the first two words are?
Oh, trying to remember the prayer after eating. Oh God, because we do that after the onegs or the
Right.
lunches.
So the first part of the word is what? Can someone tell me what this first syllable is?
Beer.
Beer. And then what's the second half?
What was the first letter of that word?
That's a bet. So
Bet.
it's
B?
beer. Yep.
Was that a B?
B as in boy. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then what's the second half?
Hot.
Hot. So what? Put that together and we have what?
Beer cut.
Beer cot. Okay.
See, those two letters look the same to me, the first and the third.
And they could. And like I said,
I see. The first one's got a little tail on the bottom.
and one is flatter than the other. There's that bar that B has
God.
the bar at the bottom, where C, if it's round like your hand, then it's a it's one of
Got
the C's. Okay. So then what's the next one? So what do we have for the next one?
Ha.
So what did we decide the first was? Baruch?
No,
No. Beer cut.
correct. Yeah, beer cot. And then this one is a perfect too. Consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. So try the next one.
Hamatzon.
Ha,
Hamatzon. Hamatzon.
Hamazon.
zone. And so this is a final what at the end?
Nun.
Nun.
Yeah. So see, this is a good page to show you. This is why I grabbed this prayer. Up here,
Bore Hamazon.
say it again.
Bore Hamazon.
Berkat Hamazon. Ha ma zone.
Yeah, Burkat Amazon.
Perfect. Yeah. So see how the final noon is kind of really small and it's got a little bit of skinny, and the final cough over here on line 1 is basically, it looks like a long dalet and it's straight and long. So noon's got a little wiggle to it a little bit, but cough is just totally straight. The stick is totally straight. So, and also final cough is a little bit wider on the top, and noon is a little bit shorter on the top. Final noon looks like a super long vav, where final cough, and I hate to do this to you, looks like a super long dalet.
So, Madison, this is a much more difficult. All of our 26 English letters are very different looking.
Yeah.
Remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Here, you really got an alphabet soup.
And so the last thing I'm going to say about this, and then we'll end class in a minute, is the fact that you have to remember when they made this language, they were writing on sticks with clay. So one of the reasons why that a lot of things maybe are just a little jiggle, or maybe they're just longer than the other, you have to realize that they, like I said, they started this on clay. So, our letters today, would be difficult to write on clay. You know what I mean? Like try to write an E on clay. It doesn't look exactly the same. You know, and this is how they came up with them and they developed them. So, so let's try this right here. So on line 1, the very last word on line 1, right before the end, what can someone tell me what that word is?
Oh, is that an M in the first one and the yes,
Yep.
an M and an S, and maybe that's one of the H's at the end.
Ed, yeah, and so anyone want to give that a stab?
Motion.
Is that a Mishabera? No, B.
Someone said it. I think Linda did.
Was
No,
that
I
the-
didn't.
I said
But I-
Mishabera, but that's not a Mishabera.
Yeah. No, that's it. Someone else said it.
Okay.
Moshe.
Yeah, it's Moshe. So now I want to show you one important thing that I've been saying, and we will learn this later on. We have the ma, right? And sometimes when you have a shin, okay, and an O together, I think I mentioned it, they share the vowel, okay? So in order to get Moshe, you actually have to share the vowel with the O. Do you see what I'm saying? The olam
Okay.
or the olam is up there, but it's also the dagesh for the shin.
So that's Moses in Hebrew script.
Yep, that's Moses. And so the hey at the end is silent again. So it's Moshe. So that's one of those things that there's grammar to help teach you to learn, but that's a good example of when sometimes vowels and the shin, when they're put together, the dot is shared. Okay? Okay. So if you guys hold on 1 second, I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to stop recording unless someone wanted to see something quick. Okay, I'm going to stop recording then.